So hello everyone. In the last class we did ratio, and in this class we are going to study proportion. So how the proportion is related to the ratio? Let's see that. In proportion, we write whenever we used to have two ratios. Like let's suppose if we have A by B, and that is equivalent to some other ratio, that is C by D. So this is known as a proportion. And also we can write in terms of ratio, like A ratio B is proportionate to C ratio D. So this is the sign of proportion, which is like this. Okay. While this is meant to be equal. Now we can also assume some practical example. Let's suppose if I am writing here 8 by 16. So that can be equivalent to 24 by 48. So we also know that the relation of here denominator is double of the numerator, and here also denominator is double of the numerator. So they are in proportion. So we can say 8, 16, 24, 48 are in proportion. Okay. And if we have to write in terms of symbol, then we can write 8 ratio 16 proportionate to 24 ratio 48. Okay. So all these four numbers are in proportion. Now, what kind of questions are asked from this topic? So they are of two types. So what are those? Just let's see that. See. So in one of the type, it will be like there will be four things, or there will be four numbers, and in the second type there will be three numbers. Okay. So what is the meaning of this four numbers? Like there will be, let's suppose if it is 3, 8, 3, 6, 8, 16. So these are four numbers. Okay. And if there are four numbers, they will be known as a first proportion, second proportion, third proportion, and fourth proportion. Okay, when there are four numbers. While for the second type if there are three numbers, so like we can also just take in terms of general form ABC. This is known as first proportion. This is your third proportion. While the second one is your mean proportion. Okay. So we don't call it as a second proportion. We just in term whenever there are three numbers, so we call this middle one as a mean proportion. So what we have learned that for four numbers, like if they are in terms of ABCD, so they will be A ratio B proportionate to C ratio D, and they can be written in terms of like this. Okay. And for here, how the numbers will be written when it is about the mean proportion, it will be written like A ratio B proportionate to B ratio C. Okay. While in if we have to write like this, so we'll be writing A by B is equivalent to B by C. And they also get multiply. Like if I do cross multiplication here, then I will be getting AD is equivalent to BC. So generally what used to happen whenever the questions are being asked, like when there are four numbers, so out of the four number, like we can see here there are four things. So out of this four, three will be given to you, three numbers will be given, and one will be asked. Okay. While similarly here, two numbers would be given to you and one you need to find out. So while putting the numbers in this way or in this relation, we can find out the number which is being asked, and similarly here as well. Okay. So let's understand this thing in a more better way by using some problems. So let's see that. Now, if I'm writing here three numbers they have given us, or like find the first proportion for numbers they have given us 4, 7, 8. Okay. So these are the three numbers for which they have asked us the first proportion. Now three numbers are already given, so we can write like this, that the first number is, let it be x, that we need to find out, and the rest of numbers are like this, 4, 7, 8. So again what we have learned, that this is the first proportion, this is the second proportion, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, this is fourth proportion, this is first proportion, these are respective second and third. So what we have learned, like x by 4 will be equivalent to 7 by 8. Okay, x by 4 will be equivalent to 7 by 8. And again if we need to find out x, so that will be equivalent to 7 by 2. So this is the answer. Okay, now for the same set of numbers, they could also ask what is the second proportion, they could ask what is the third proportion, and what will be the fourth proportion. Anything can be asked. Okay, so if we have to find out the third proportion for the same three set of numbers, so what would we would be writing at there? We'll be writing like 4, 7, x and 8. Okay, so this is the x, which is the third proportion which we need to find out here in this case, which was x. Okay, so how we can write again in terms of fraction, like 4 by 7 is equivalent to x by 8. Thus performing cross multiplication, we could find out the number. So here the third proportion would be 32 by 7. So they can give us again the same, some set of numbers like three numbers, and out of that we need to find out the number which is being asked. Okay, similarly they could also ask, like if the numbers are 4, 7, 8, find the fourth proportion. So if they will be asking fourth proportion, so it will be again like 4 by 7 is equal to 8 by x, and from here the x will be 14. So this will be the fourth proportion for the any given, like for here it is for this set of numbers which are 4, 7, 8, but they can give us any random three numbers, and for which they can ask any proportion. Fourth, it can be first, second, third, fourth, it can be anything. The only thing that we know, that if three numbers are given, so we can write in this way if it is for first, and we can write in this way if it is for, they have asked for the third proportion, while for the fourth one we can write x here. Okay, so let's move further. Sometime we use one more relation, that is, we call it as, just a minute, we call it as, like if we are writing, let it be a by b is equal to c by d, and before this step we also write like this, a ratio b proportionate to c ratio d. Okay, now these numbers are also known as extreme numbers, and whenever we perform cross multiplication, then how we write like ad is equal to bd, and we also say that product of extreme is equivalent to product of mean. So these are the also mean numbers. Okay, while here for the four numbers we do not call it as a mean number, while mean proportion, but these two numbers are the mean numbers. Okay, where we use the term exactly mean proportion when there used to be three set of numbers, while for here for the four set of numbers we call it as a first proportion, second proportion, third proportion, fourth proportion. But if we can understand this concept, like product of extreme will be equal to product of mean. So here mean are two numbers, These are also known as mean numbers, B and C. A and D are known as extreme numbers. So this way also, if any three numbers are given to us, so we can find out the unknown, which would be the fourth one. Okay. Now let's move further. Just understand this in a this by a question. So if I'm writing here that if the question is something like this, x ratio 4 proportionate to 32 ratio 64. Okay. Now we can write in terms of fraction, or we can also write directly that these are the extreme number. So there will be product on one side, and if there are mean number, their product will be on one side. So they will get cancelled out here. So ultimately we'll be having excess 2. Okay. And there is another approach by we think. What is that approach? Like we can see here that, and we know that this part will be having the same relation as that of this part. This is what the definition of proportion we have studied. Okay. So we know that if this the second number is getting double, so this will also be double of some number. So that would be 2, because if this is the 4, so 4 will be double of 2. So that's how we can also get the answer. Okay, fine. Now just understand the concept. Whenever there will be three numbers will be given to us, then how we see the question and how what kind of the questions are being asked. Let's see that as well. If I'm writing here, let's suppose we have three numbers. So for three numbers, we call it as the ABC as the first proportion. This is the third one, while the middle number is known as a mean proportion. And how it is written? It is being written like this: A by B, A ratio B proportionate to B ratio C. So they can be written as A by B is equal to B by C. So this middle number is getting repeated. Okay. After performing cross multiplication, we can have AC is equal to B square. Okay. And again further it can be B is the square root of AC. So what are AC? They are again the extreme numbers. So whenever we have to find out mean proportion, this is B is the middle number which is mean proportion. So whenever we have to find out the mean proportion for the three numbers, so we can write it would be the square root of the product of extreme numbers. Okay, so that's how we can calculate. So let's suppose if we have any numbers are given to us, like they can question can be find the mean proportion for 4 and 5. So obviously if mean proportion is being asked, so they will be the extreme numbers. So we can directly find out square root of 4 into 5, that will be square root of 20. Okay, so they can be written as also 2 root 5. So this would be the answer. This is the mean proportion for the this problem. Okay. So apart from this, what more kind of questions are being asked from this proportion topic? So that is about the variation. So let's see that as well. Okay, so let's see about the variation. See, so there are two type of variation that we study. That is, one is the direct variation, other is the indirect variation. So let's understand this, the concept of this variation and how the questions are being asked. Let's see that as well. Okay, see, if I'm writing here direct variation, so the meaning of direct variation is if there are, let it be, there are two terms or there are two quantities. If by increasing B, A is also increasing, so that is known as the direct variation, and they are represented like this. This is the symbol of directly proportional. So what it means, let's suppose if we are for a given time, it means the time is constant. From a given time, if you will increase in speed, if your speed will increase, then obviously there will be more distance will be covered up, because we are moving at a faster speed. So there will be accordingly the distance covered will be more. So that is known as the directly proportional relation. And again for the same kind of a concept, if we say that for a given distance, it means distance is remaining constant. For a given distance, like if we say that this is school, this is home, so the distance between the school and home, that is not getting changed, that will remain same. Okay, so if this is school and home, so there will be a scenario like just assume there are two cases. For the first case, we will be moving at a particular speed, and in the second case we are moving at a higher speed, so the time will be different. So if speed will be high, time will be taken less. So this is the relation of inversely proportional. Speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. Okay, so there can be some other quantities also. And so see, and sometimes the questions are asked based on consumption as well. That is like if you have a constant money and the price get higher, so obviously for that constant money, if price is getting higher, then you will consume lesser quantity. So that is the relation between the price and consumption, which is of inverse variation. Okay, now just understand this here. Let's suppose if we are saying that A is directly proportional to square of B. Okay, so how we can write here, we can write A is directly proportional to B. Okay, now and not only B but to the square of B. This was the different case, like I just draw to make you explain, but here we are doing a kind of example to understand this question, this concept in a more briefer way. Okay, so I am writing here A is directly proportional to square of B. Now if A is directly proportional to square of B, and we know that whenever we remove the directly proportional sign, we used to have some constant, then A is equal to K B square. Okay, now if I'm writing here, and there can be some situation if they're saying that if B is 3, then A is also 3. So what would be A if B is 4? So the question can be like this. Okay, now this K is constant which is unknown, so just assuming this first statement, if you write here, then you're writing like that. For the if B is 3, so K will be just constant, A will be also 3. So from here we can say the constant we are getting, that will be 1 by 3. So this is a value of constant. And for the second time when we have to find out A, so there we will be substituting K as 1 by 3, and for B it is 4 squared. So I am getting 16 over 3. So this is my answer for the second case when we find out the K. Okay, now just observing this thing carefully, what I can find here, that if I am writing this, I'm using this relation once here, you can see here, once here. Okay, for A and B, or like if we are saying that there are two cases, so let it be A1 and B1 when it was the case first. And for the second one, we could also write A2 is equivalent to KB2 square, where we were writing B2 as 4 and A2 we were finding out. Okay, this is the second relation. A1 was KB1 square and A2 was KB2 square. Okay, now dividing this both of the equation, how we can write, see that we can also write A1 by A2 is equal to KB1 by KB2 square. So this K and K will get cancelled. So what we are seeing here, that this is not actually required to find out K, because this is time consuming. So why we should go for finding out K if there it is already getting cancelled here. So we could use this relation. Okay, A1 by A2, which was 3 in the first case, A2 we need to find out. So you can write A2 or X, whatever you feel comfortable. So B1 was 3 square and B2 was 4 square. So from there also we'll be getting the same answer, 16 by 3. So this is better. Okay, and in short we also write like this. I'm erasing this. in short, we also write like this. For the direct variation, we can write a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2. And for inverse or indirect relation, we write the reverse one. A1 by 2 is equal to b2 by b1. Here it was b1 b2. Here it is a1 by 2 is equal to b2 by b1. So this is the reverse one. Okay. So for the reverse one again, if they say that x is inversely proportional to cube of y, and if y is 4, your x is 5. So if y is 6, so what would be x? So if it is inversely proportional, we have seen this kind of relation. So what we can write here, we can write x1 by x2 is equivalent to y2 cube over y1 cube, because this is of the inverse relation. Okay. So we can substitute the respective values. Initially x1 was 5, x2 we have to find out, y2 is 6, so 6 cube, and y1 is 4, so it is 4 cube. Solving this further, we can have x2 will be equivalent to 4 cube by 5, 4 cube into 5 over 6 cube. So this will be 64 into 5, and further it is 216. So we can solve this and we can get answer. So this is the concept of direct and indirect variation. Okay. So that's all we will be doing for this, and thank you so much for watching this video.